Hi, I am sitting in the parking garage at the hospital because I am going in for immunotherapy here in a little bit. That I would just come on and talk to you for just a bit about how I've been feeling lately. I don't know if it's just me, but there is this overwhelming sense of dread and anxiety that's been just circulating throughout my body lately. One of the things I know that I have been struggling with is just I'm in constant fight or flight mode, financially and with my work, and just it's a struggle, and I haven't talked openly about this, and it's really uncomfortable for me to do so. But when I first decided to go full-time into my creative endeavors, artist and anybody who had some kind of online business, the pandemic was a time where a lot of us really succeeded because everybody was home shopping online. And then the world started opening up again, and it slowly just started to feel harder and harder and harder. And so for me with my business lately, it just feels like I can never catch up. And I'm exhausted, and I'm questioning whether or not I should even be doing this anymore, especially with what I just went through with all of my health and continue to go through. I'm just so freaking tired all the time. But I'm also like, who's gonna hire me? I'm 43 years old, and although I have a lot of work experience, there are 20-something-year-olds who would do the job for a lot less than what I would want to make. I also want to get caught up financially and be able to breathe, because when you work for yourself, I feel like sometimes you just can't freaking breathe because you are always in charge of everything. I don't have employees. I do everything myself, and I don't have an accountant anymore because I just couldn't afford it anymore. So now I'm like back to doing all of the bookkeeping on my own and whatnot. And I know that this could change. I think it's just a matter of getting caught up. So there's that. And then I think that there is just an overwhelming sense of dread and discomfort, and my eye is really itching, and just tragedy happening in the world. And every time I go onto social media, specifically like TikTok, because I do think that there's a lot of value in social media, and I do think there's a lot of value in having instant news. On the flip side of that, there is a constant bombardment of just all this negativity that's going on in the world. And I know we need to know about it, but it is just like, it is messing me up right now. I just need to take a little bit of a break from it, but then there's like this fear of missing out. And like I didn't know that the Baltimore Bridge, I didn't know about that, and I was over at my brother and sister-in-law's on Easter morning, and my brother was just like flabbergasted that I had no clue that happened. So obviously, like, I am only seeing things that my algorithm is showing me. But anyways, it's more that every single day there's something happening, and I do not think that our bodies and minds were built for that much constant infiltration of information and news. Especially, like, I'm just a very sensitive person, and I hate using the word empath, but I would venture to say that I'm an empath. But I think that is just overly used now. But I am very sensitive, and so things can, if I'm not properly resting and taking care of myself, things can start to pile up and really affect me, and that has been happening. Not to mention, I'm not really giving myself adequate days of rest because I've just been so busy. And my mom and I are leaving tomorrow for a cancer retreat, which will be nice, but I'm also in a way kind of dreading it because I just don't want to talk about it all. But I also know that it's something that's really good for me, and I need to. And it will also be forced rest, so that'll be good. But after this week, the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, really I have nothing planned for the foreseeable future, really. And I'm going to sit down and really map out some fun for myself, because that is definitely missing right now. And I can feel it starting to affect me and my mental state. I also think it'll be really interesting when I get labs done today because I think my thyroid is just completely screwed up. And one of the side effects of this immunotherapy drug I'm on, Keytruda, is that it just destroys your thyroid. So it would be nice to get that adjusted. And yeah, I've just been struggling to, like, I'm so over I'm so over going to treatment. I'm so over this cancer world that I'm in. I'm so tired of having to stop what I'm doing every 3 weeks to come into treatment. And I know that it is just like, it's, in comparison to so many other things, it's nothing. But it's like every time I have treatment, I have no idea what the rest of the week is going to hold for me. Last week I broke out in last treatment I broke out into a massive rash all over my face, and I'm just like having a lot of lung issues now, which is another side effect. And so I'm just so tired. I'm so tired all the time. So it'll be interesting to get my blood work back and see what's going on. I'm just in my feels, and I'm not the best at expressing it. I've been numbing out a lot with social media and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which is fun to watch too. But, you know, I've been struggling with this 75 hard challenge. Mostly the little things like reading 10 pages. I have been fluctuating with that. Technically, you're supposed to start over from the beginning, but I'm not doing that. Like, that's not like, the goal is to instill better habits for myself. So I see the point in having to start over from the beginning. But I also think I piled on way too much stuff for myself. So anyways, I got to go into my immunotherapy, but I'll chat more about this later. I'm just in a funk, and I'm trying to be more authentic when I come on here and not Susie Sunshine all the time. And that's just where I'm at. I'm just super blah. Holding on to the receipt so I can keep track of my budget. Oh, you think this is for you? Do you think this is for you? I need to organize the cabinets because they're messy. They're messy. First, I need to take my colostrum. So something that I think is totally underrated are frozen veggies. Like, you could get organic frozen veggies for relatively cheap, and then you have them on hand in case you're just like running low on food and just need to make a quick and healthy meal. So I'm stocking up on these now every time I go to the store. Like, I need to make a thrift store Goodwill run because that is where I buy all my jars and any kind of storage container for the kitchen, organizational stuff for the kitchen or home. That is something where I'm like, why am I going to buy this brand new when the thrift stores are overrun with them? So one of the things I'm also trying to do right now is to look at my finances and really create a very realistic budget for myself. One of the things I'm finding is this is just really hard because I work for myself. My income is so up in the air every single month. So I found this new podcast. Well, it's not a new podcast, but it's new to me. And it's called The Financial Feminist, and I just ordered her book. I sat with that for about a week, and then I felt like it was ultimately a really, really good investment because I'm trying not to buy books right now and just check them out at the library. Ultimately, I felt like that was an investment into my future. I was going to just see if the book was at the library, but this is something that I know I'm going to want to keep on hand for the long term. And so that comes tomorrow. Oh, I'm having a hot flash. I always have hot flashes while I'm on these videos. So, but one of the things I've never really done is set a budget for myself. I tend to spend the same amount every single month, roughly, but I am cutting costs, and you know, I have these huge financial goals over the next year, and we'll get into more of that down the road. But this is where I'm going with this, is that one of the things I struggle with is a grocery and food budget. I don't go out to eat very much. I'm on this 75 hard, although I'm not doing like a specific diet, I'm eating in a specific way. And so I'm not going out to eat, maybe to get a coffee or something like that, but I'm not going out to dinner, I'm not drinking, and I don't really spend a lot of money on that stuff anyways. And I eat in a particular way, and I do want a certain quality of food. So I'm like, what is a realistic budget for a single person these days? And I'm thinking $600 a month. Is that high? Is that too low? I don't know. We're going to set that as the baseline, and then we might need to adjust it over the coming months. But this is really, really scary for me, because budgeting in general is really scary for me, but I'm trying to reframe my mindset around it and not look at it as like this deprivation, but as like working towards a goal. And so that means a lot of things I'm going to start making from scratch, which is also really exciting because I love doing that, and it's bringing me back to this place of homesteading and just being more connected with my food sources. And like I will be honest, I do shop at Whole Foods, but I have done a price comparison. I've gone to like a Safeway, for example, and I bought all of the same things that I typically buy at Whole Foods, and it was actually more expensive at Safeway because Whole Foods is now owned by Amazon, and I can do Amazon Prime, and I get all of these sales and discounts at Whole Foods. And to be honest, I don't buy all of the fancy things at Whole Foods. I pretty much stick to the same things every single week. And this is, I would say, a non-negotiable for me, because I do want to eat in a particular way. One thing I could potentially do, go to the weekly farmers market here. I think that would be even better. And then obviously I'm going to start planting my garden here soon. And that is going to be a little bit of an investment up front, but long term that is just going to, I think that'll bring my grocery bill down a lot. I've been researching gluten-free sourdough bread that I want to start making, but I'm a little bit nervous because it is a bit of a science, and that is just not the way I tend to cook, but I think it would be good for me. I also started making, I've done this for a long time, but when I'm feeling a little bit lazier, I'll just buy cleaning products, but I do make my own cleaning products, which I'll show you. I started making my own cleaning products a long time ago, and like I said, sometimes I just buy them, but this is one of the ways that I make an all-purpose cleaner. It's a mix of white vinegar, dish soap, and some essential oils. I'll leave the directions below for you. So one of the things that I want to start doing is showing you more of my creative projects, my furniture flips, maybe how I make my artwork. I have one other video, I think, where I've done a full furniture flip, but this is going to be me going from start to finish on what I think is going to be a pretty cool project. I still don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing, but I have an idea, so I'm going to take you with me on this piece. This is a bar a friend found for me on Facebook Marketplace, I think almost a year ago, and it has just been sitting in my shop this whole time. I honestly didn't really know what I wanted to do with it until recently. I've done some collaborations with another Seattle-based artist, and I decided to see if she wanted in on this project with me, and she did. So she's a woodworker and an awesome painter. I'll link her information below, but she's going to add her beautiful woodworking to the front panel of this. But first, I need to do a few updates on this so that her artwork will adhere to the front part. This involves adhering a 1/4 inch cut piece of plywood, as you see me doing here. After I added all these details, I painted it a really gorgeous green, which I'll show you in another video when I finish this project and get Laura to add her artwork. Stay tuned for that. I wanted the front to be a little bit more smooth, and I didn't like those little ridges inside. Although I'm going to add some kind of woodworking on the front, I just wanted it to be more cohesive. So the exterior has some holes where they had these like metal pins in there. I'll show you really quick. I do want to fill in some of the knots because I'm going to be painting the whole bar. Do anything today. I am so tired. It's currently Saturday, March 23rd maybe. I'm exhausted. I watched my nieces for 9.5 hours on Thursday, and of course, and then didn't get much sleep Thursday night because I slept in their room and I stayed over, and I felt like I was dreaming. I thought I was getting sleep, but I also woke up thinking I was up most of the night. So, and it turns out that I was. And then last night I had my niece's 6th birthday party, and it was a Taylor Swift Eras theme. And I'm going to show you a picture of what I wore. I went more as like a fan, but it was fun. But I am tired, and I don't want to work out. I don't want to go on a walk. I want to lay on the couch and watch TV all day, but I'm not going to do that because that is not the point of what I'm doing this 75 hard for. So I'm not going to work out in my shop like I was originally going to do today, but I am going to go out and organize it for a bit. And then I also need to finish editing a video that I was going to get out last week, but never did. That's just life right now. And then I'm gonna cook and clean and work on my taxes because I like to wait to the last minute to do those. But that's also why I'm doing this 75 hard, because it's all about changing patterns and habits and getting my ish together. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm gonna do a yoga sequence, 45-minute yoga sequence. And then I think I'm gonna break Baker's walk up into 2 separate walks. So one 25-minute one and then one 20-minute evening one. Whew. So I think that you can do these kinds of challenges but still stay true to what the overall goal is, even when you kind of want to listen to your body and adapt, should we say.